Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 1st to the 15th, 2025 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so very much for doing so. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, a healing, or a gift card, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It is linked in the description box below. Now let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. At the heart of everything, we have the Five of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords. Ooh, we have the Ten of Swords. Angels and spirit guides. Very sword heavy so far. Page of Swords, continuing a theme. There we go. We get a break. We get the Nine of Cups, angels and spirit guides. The Page of Wands, the Two of Pentacles. There you are. The Knight of Pentacles. The Page of Cups, angels and spirit guides. And the Ace of Swords, which is why we are so sword heavy at the beginning. Okay. At the heart of everything, with the Five of Swords, what you're going to see is that you are fighting in, engaging in, and really being victorious in battles that you had faced before, meaning things that remind you of the past, that have overwhelmed you, that have made you doubt yourself, that have made you feel overwhelmed, and that have overwhelmed you. They have made you feel overwhelmed. Very good. What you're going to see is that there's a real sense, there's a fear, like as you're moving forward, and a sense of, can I do this? And this finds you, like this reading finds you when you doubt yourself. You're questioning, can I do this? Can I move forward? Do I know what it is that I want? When you feel overwhelmed and kind of like out of your depth. Because what's going to happen is you're facing fears and doubts and chaoses that you have faced before, and that brought you to your knees, that you were like, you know what, peace out, I'm not doing this, I'm going to go and retreat, I'll do something else. Or you were defeated in one way or another that made you feel small and overwhelmed in life. And this is going to be a time where you're finding yourself stepping forward, you're finding yourself going after what it is that you truly want, and no longer being held back by the shadows of the past. And as you do so, the Queen of Swords is the energy to be mindful of. Now, you can have people who can be using kind of like logic against you. They can be saying very practical things for why you shouldn't be going after what it is that you want, or just they can be very hurtful. And it can all be like, well, you know, I'm a bit this, and oh, I could be a bit like that, and oh, I understand, you know, type of thing. It's like, it's based in truth. And that's why they do it. Okay, so you can be dealing with a person like this who is saying things that aren't not true, but they're saying things in a very hurtful, hateful, overwhelming way. So be mindful of that, or they're twisting it just a little bit. With the Queen of Swords as a challenge, it's also going to be the challenge during this time for you, Capricorn, to embrace your voice, to say, you know, I put in the time, I put in the effort, just as you've overcome the battles that you have been in before, I am moving forward in what I want. I'm taking on a role that maybe people think, you know, you should be a little bit more like this, or you should be a little bit more like that. The Queen of Swords isn't everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. But during this time, you stepping into her power is your cup of tea. It's your power, it's your determination, it's your focus, it's your insight. You have this gift of the Ace of Swords that's crowning this whole entire reading, right? That's the end point of it all. The challenge will be to take it not as a student, questioning, seeking, and, you know, finding new answers, but as a queen, knowing your worth, knowing your voice, knowing what it is that you want, and claiming your power in a way that people are like step back and go, ooh, like Capricorn, I didn't think you had it in you. It brings us then to the root of everything. You're coming out of a time feeling very overwhelmed, of feeling overseen, overlooked, and almost like you were locked away, whether that is emotionally, spiritually, personally, like whether you were hiding away from the world, or you just felt like completely unseen, almost like a specter roaming through this existence, with nobody really caring about your voice or you. With the Ten of Swords, you're coming out of that energy, and you're saying to yourself, I stand here and I rise with more knowledge, more understanding, more insight than I have ever had before. We learn through pain. You know, it's kind of like, and I know that's a harsh thing to say, and people are like, oh no, we learn through love and care. And yes, we do. But the lessons that really stick with us are the lessons that caused us some discomfort, whether it was, wear your gloves outside or else your hands are going to get cold, and then you didn't and your hands got really cold and you're like, next time you made sure you had those gloves in your pocket, type of thing. Or like, don't touch the kettle, it's hot, you touched it, you're like, oh wow, I did burn my finger. That type of like seeing and pushing and learning. But also the ones where like you put yourself out there, you got rejected, you fell in love with somebody, they didn't fall in love with you. These are all heartbreaks and disappointments. You started something and it was going great and then it all fell apart or it didn't go great at all. Here, what you are seeing is all the pains that you have lived through, 10 really big ones. It can be over 10 years. It can be over, a matter of months. It all depends. But what you're going to see is that you are taking the swords out of your back, or you're taking your swords from around you, making this cage that's trapping you in the well of being overly emotional, like over emotions, right? That make us doubt, make us fear, make us feel less than. And you're arming yourself with a weapon that is at your heart to be able to take, right? The biggest challenge of you for this time is going to be able to take the sword and claim your power and claim your authority, guard your mind, don't share everything with everybody, and go after what it is that you truly want. And as you do so, you take the swords out of your back, because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, they were stabbed in the back. They had 10 swords in their back. It's overkill to the extreme. But also, to be left there, you left a fortune, right? A fortune was left just to destroy one person. So there is this thing of what fortune has come out of despair. And you might say nothing, and you might be really mad, even at Spirit and me for saying it, it coming forward at this time. But what you're going to find is a new path forward. And what you're going to see is that you've been a student of your voice for a really long time. You've been looking at things in a different way, because this is the energy that's leaving us. You've been looking at things in different ways. You've been questioning, you've been seeking, you've been becoming more interested and connected with the spiritual, with the mystical, with the sense of the stories of existence, of life and its mysteries. And you're going to find that you wonder if part of your reason for being here is to be the eternal questioner. And where does that lead you? In an energy and in a sign, right? Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, of top-down structure, of rules and of order. Where does the endless seeker, the powerful questioner, lie within the rule of this is the way that we move forward, this is how we solve our problems? It brings us then to your strength. And I love this strength because here you can see all the moodiness, right? That's here. It's in grays and blues and browns, and it's all greens. It's all moody. And then you have the 9 of Cups come into play. And the 9 of Cups is brightness. It's the bee right there. So it's that link to the sacred feminine. It's also the link to sweetness of life, natural sweetness of existence. It's holding the cup and saying, this is sacred to me. This is what I love. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for in myself. This is the joy of my heart. And I let myself shine. I share it with others. And I also drink deeply of the cup of myself. And here, there is a celebration. There is a joy. There's a peace. There's an inner peace and a powerful peace that guides you forward. And it brings us then to the Page of Wands. Now, this is your near future, which is, again, that student role. Now, here you have the student of your voice. Here you have the student of your passion, your fire, your determination. This is the energy that gets you out of bed in the morning. This is what inspires you. You have the animal, okay, the horse, and then the rabbit, links to the sacred feminine as well as the bee here. Three links to the sacred feminine come forward during this time. And what you're going to see is that messages are being given to you. Both hold scrolls. If you're asking for a sign, like, this is actually a great time to ask for a sign, to be like, Spirit, please send me a sign. You'll get it. You'll get it in a much more tangible way than at other times you will. There is a power and authority and insight to you during this time. There's a sense of, this is what I'm going after, and this is what I want. You are also letting yourself become excited about life again, to become excited about what you want to create and what you're cultivating and what you're looking for, and you're trying new things and you're pushing the boundaries, and you're not boxing yourself in ways that you had. And that's going to be very exciting, during this time. There's also a sense of like youthful vigor, like vivaciousness coming into the energy sphere. This sense of either being energized or of having somebody who comes in that's just young and questions and looks at things differently and asks a million questions as to why, and you're like, oh, well, I don't really know. Let's figure it out. That can also be really exciting during this time. With the Two of Pentacles, this is things becoming overwhelming, right? The atmosphere is that you have a lot to balance. So be aware of that. And it can become overwhelming. Putting down your roots, kind of like stabilizing yourself is going to be really important, but you're also seeking wisdom. So you're going to seek like pushing the envelope, going out, having adventures type of thing. With the foxtail behind you, there is that sense of a little bit of trickery, especially around emotions, especially around people like stirring up the pot, kind of like pushing the emotions, or like playing emotional kind of head games with you. You will have a tendency to overextend yourself. You usually do, because I can solve the problem, right? That's the energy that you have. I can solve the problem. I know how to do this. Let's move forward. There are responsibilities here. I've got it. And during this time, you have to know not to take on too much. So being aware of that is going to be super important. And what you're balancing, okay? Everything's going to be connected. It might be in a kind of like more out there way. It might be in a very connected way. And it brings us then to the Knight of Pentacles. And this is the environment of you moving forward towards success, prosperity. This is a time of movement. You've evolved from the page, right? From the student to I want to say the enforcer, but the one that is seen, right? So the day-to-day one that is seen. And with the Knight of Pentacles, you're moving slowly and steadily towards what is most important to you, towards your prosperity. This is you. You're represented by the Pentacles in the Minor Arcana. You're moving towards wealth, what you value as much as money. You're holding up as a guide what is sacred to you. What are you working towards during this time? Don't make it complicated. Kind of pull it back to the bare minimum. Not the bare minimum, but like the way to describe it, make it as brief as possible. What are you working towards? What are you going after? 1 word, 2 words. What are you building? And let yourself feel that. But also let yourself take on the Knight's energy of, I am building this, I am protecting this, I am opening this up, and I am going after what I want. I am not apologizing. The Queen of Swords, most misunderstood queen. She is the most masculine of the queens. She does not apologize for embracing her voice, for going after what it is that she wants, and being fiercer than most people can handle. So be aware of that. It is the same energy with the Knight. A Knight is not seen as this placid little thing that floats around. A Knight is a powerful force, and a force that is used. It moves us then to another page. Now we have 3 out of the 4 pages here. And the fear is to be a student of your heart, to let the feeling come in. The questioning, you're here for it. The passion, you're here for it. The prosperity, you're here for it. But the emotion, not always, because it brings with it vulnerability. But it also brings with it a wild card. It's almost like there can be 2 answers, And there's a sense, like my nephew was talking, and he's like, is it like math? Because math has an answer. Whereas if it's like a story, those you can interpret it many different ways. And he was all frustrated because he wanted things to just have a proper answer. And that's the energy that I'm getting here. It's like, I just want it to have a proper answer, not to be up to different interpretations. So here with the Page of Cups, what you're going to find is that there are unexpected blessings that come in. But because there are unexpected blessings that come in, it pulls you off the path that you thought you should be on, or it makes you look at things in a different way. And you're like, man, like if everything could just fall into line like I wanted it to, this would be better. So it is a hope to be able to have things filled with love and joy and laughter and harmony. And it's a fear of that love and joy and laughter and harmony coming in and knocking you off the path that you really want. And so here, there's a sense of, how do I let myself feel fully and powerfully without, being overwhelmed by all of the world? And you might have found that you're a very sensitive person. Most people who find this channel are, especially the people who stay and subscribe. You feel the world a lot more. And so here, there can be the sense of, I let the feelings in, right? I connected emotionally to everything. And there was rejection, and there was hurt, and there was pain. And it brings us to this place of like, do I let myself love again? The answer is always yes, but it can take time. So show yourself grace. And it moves you then to the Ace of Swords. This is God's source spirit. However you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift of your voice and clarity of mind. You're cutting through doubts and fears, negativities, hurts, pains, disappointments. You're knowing what it is that you want. There's a clarity to you. There's also an insight to you. And the biggest thing of this time is embracing your voice and knowing your mind, Capricorn. And you take it. It just feels like more of a burden at times than you wanted it to. Because it's not to be the queen, right? To step into that energy is something that's a challenge because it's in the challenge spot. But it's also something that is deeply longed for. It moves us then to the spirit message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Oh, we have two. We have beautiful and we have create. So with the beautiful, create. What is beautiful to you? It doesn't have to be beautiful to everybody else. Create. As long as you come from a place of love, of healing, of kindness, of gentleness, let yourself create what is truly beautiful to your soul. It moves us then to the spirit message, angels and spirit guides. Oh, we again have two. Soul's healing, the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown, and the throat chakra, truth. You heal by speaking your truth. Okay, humming, activating your thyroid, okay, which is also your throat chakra. That's going to be really, really important. So singing can just be so joyous to you during this time. Put on your favorite music, even if you're like, Dane, I'm a terrible singer. Nobody has to hear you. Sing while you're getting breakfast ready or while you're in your car, but let yourself sing, let yourself express. It moves us then to the energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The 7 of Swords. These are lies, deceits. This is like, be mindful. You've been lied to before. This is what Spirit has said. You've been lied to before. You can even have somebody coming at you with harshness and cruelty and like, facts that have been twisted. And like, you can't really, you'll say like, yeah, but that's true. But, and they're like, they don't want to hear the but. It's like, no, it's just true. So, okay, type of deal. So just be aware of this. And be aware that during this time, mind games can be very prevalent. You don't want to play them, somebody else does. It moves us then, and this is going to be somebody who is very chameleon-like with their words, right? They can be so charming, and they will be charming to the people that they want something from. But if they view or think, oh, I don't want anything from you, you're not worth it, they'll come for you. So just be aware. It moves us then to the subconscious spirit message of adventure. You're ready for an adventure. You're ready for the doors to open. Let yourself step out of your comfort zone into something more. It brings us then to the subconscious spirit message, which is flexibility. This is the sacral chakra. Flexibility of creativity, flexibility of mind, flexibility of spirit. This is where your sensual energy and creative energy is held. And it's letting yourself move out of stagnation and into peace. It moves us then to the subconscious spirit message, which is the Ace of Wands. And it's very interesting. It's always interesting whenever we have an ace as a card to be mindful of, because the Ace of Wands is this gift from God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, of passion and fire and intensity. And here, it's like it can consume too much. It can be all-encompassing, like too much passion, too much fire, too much intensity. So just be aware of that. Or somebody wraps up something and makes it seem like a gift, but it's not a gift that you want. It moves us then to the subconscious spirit message, which is the moon. This is Pisces energy, February 19th to March 20th. And the moon is illuminating the darkness. It's greater insight. It's greater understanding. It is us spreading our wings, moving forward in luck, moving forward in joy, but also the sense of moving forward in intuition. Not everything is seen, and not everything has to be crystal clear. But the illumination that we have beautifully guides us forward to new adventures and an excitement that awaits. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Bye.